But this is the map of Enoch. And the whole completion of it, they say, is that's what they call the Great Year. And right here, I got it marked off for 2026. The interesting thing, right here on this ninth, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the ninth. Right in the center is 2026. And that's where the amazing part comes in. I come up here, 2026 is the letter Z. On the 2026 also is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Weakness. Yeah. What's that saying about weakness leaving the body, or pain is just weakness leaving the body?
Pain makes you feel like you're alive, makes you only stronger or something like that.
Something like that. Anyway,
yeah, I think something along those lines.
Yeah, the lines were squiggly. So we have had an awesome response to the recent webinar that we did. We did it on Zoom just a couple weeks ago, had a lot of people show up, and we wanted to just do a quick follow-up on that. So folks, if you were one of the people that emailed me or sent me a text about the webinar, I've got Jay Matta with us from Gnostic TV, founder of Gnostic TV, and he's also a part of these projects. So if you are looking for a way to make more money, if you're looking for a way to be the change the world needs to see, look no further.
Right on, brother. Thanks for having me back. So yeah, we had a great response to the people that came to the webinar that wanted to find out. And it really was a very, very, it was a place for you all. And thank you for those who attended, and thank you in advance for those of you who will be attending. And we hope, you all do. But it's a place for you to ask some very specific questions about, what do I do? How do I make this? What are the trends that are happening right now in the marketplace that you can be part of? Okay, because we get ahead of these trends pretty quickly, right? So what are the trends in the marketplace that you can be part of that can make you a lot of cash, make you, really kind of free up your life, and not do it in a get rich slow plan kind of method. We're going to do it again based on everybody's response to it. So we're going to offer another webinar for you. And in that webinar, you're going to learn about the techniques that Rex and I have done. It's like the ultimate store, everybody. I mean, if you can visualize you having a show, and out of that show could give you 3, 4, 5, 6, as many income streams as you want, without having all those equate to a job, because that show is like your mall. So it's a place where people come in to visit you and say, what are they talking about today? And at that time, you can start to talk about things which will teach you that exact model that we have used over all these years that allow us to keep communicating with you like this, because we get to do it based on our own schedule. So it's a great life to be in. It's a great lifestyle to have.
So send me a text or give me a call, 970-616-5677. And you can also send me an email, leakproject@gmail.com, and take advantage of this free webinar. You'll be glad you did. Let's get back to the podcast right now. Hello. Brother, it is great to see you. I am really excited.
Great to see you also.
Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being the change the world needs to see. Man, growing up as a kid, I don't know why, but I just always wanted to meet somebody as cool as you, and I feel honored, brother. So Book of Enoch. You've got some information you want to share about timelines?
Yes, share about timeline. First of all, thank you very much for the compliment and everything, and also the reflection. The same with me, being a Navajo. We also admire the don't want to be racist or anything, but the
gringo,
the Caucasian population, I guess you would say. So it's also mutual.
Yeah, I love you, brother. You're just and the more we hang out, the more I realize, even though we were raised in completely different worlds, we're still so much the same.
Oh yeah,
so cool.
And then that's one thing that I realized also when I was in the war, being in Baghdad. I've seen the people there, the common people, they're exactly like us. The common people share the same traits as us, and like 100 years ago, they used to call it a 6 degree of separation. That 6 degrees of separation was that little unknown that we had, that separation that separated all of us humans. But now that we have these devices that connect us all, we can all see each other and like, hey, that reminds me of my uncle, or that reminds me of my grandpa that passed away, or whatever, of all races. And we're pretty much just all the same, a human, I guess you would say.
Yeah. Humankind. Be kind.
Yeah.
Right on. So instead of a slideshow, folks, this is so cool. Shondell actually took the time to draw and graph and chart out, like on paper, some really cool I guess you could say slides. It's part of the presentation, but artwork. I think it's more along the lines of artwork, but it's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Do you want to like?
First of all, I'd like to say greeting to the Leak Project family, the fellow moderators. I'm also a moderator on your channel. Great channel, by the way. You guys should visit it every now and then. A whole variety of topics that Rex, like he interviews everyone. Pretty much the new age Art Bell, I would say. There's no other YouTuber that will cover these topics. I mean, they'll view some of these guests and they'll be like, no, we're not going to get this guy, but Rex, he'll get them and he'll listen to them. And this is a human thing that we're doing right now. And the thing that I like about Leak Projects is he doesn't concentrate on yesterday. He doesn't concentrate on tomorrow. He concentrates on like right now, on what is going on right now with the politics and just with the religion and just putting everything together and just trying to figure out what the illness that looms over the Nazi, I guess you would say, the Illuminati.
Yeah, the one naughty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, dude, thank you so much, man.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much for the compliment.
I just noticed that we don't include the fellow people that are watching, because that's what pretty much controls the narrative that's going on right now. Is all the viewers that are coming in, people that don't agree, people that agree, people that are skeptic, people that are like, yes, I believe it, and people that have been on this road and they're searching for it, and they see some validation to what they're looking for. Like, oh no, I'm not crazy. I'm not out of this world or whatever. So to all you chatters out there, thank you for being here. And that this ball that's going around and orbiting, you're the abrasiveness. The comments that you make are the abrasive. It's just like you're polishing up the narrative, I guess you would say, making it more clear to see. Because it seems like when they say the apocalypse, it's like we were looking through like a cloudy or like a murky kind of you couldn't really see it, a misty view. But now that everybody's like talking about it, we're kind of like shining up the view, and that's what the apocalypse. We're starting to see the bigger picture of what is going on and who the controlling factors are in this world, I guess you would say.
Do you think so? Do you think we're finally seeing that, or do you see it more cyclical?
I believe that's we're starting to see the timeline, and the timeline that is coming on. Like I was telling you, the Sedok calendar is the Enoch calendar, and it was found like during the Dead Sea Scrolls. And like I was showing you earlier, I'm not sure how I'm going to put it together, but this is the map of Enoch. And the whole completion of it, they say, is that's what they call the Great Year. And right here, I got it marked off to 2026. The interesting thing, right here on this ninth, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the ninth. Right in the center is 2026. And that's where the amazing part comes in. I come up here, 2026 is the letter Z. On the 2026 also is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America. So those are like some pretty interesting correlations that are happening right now with the current timeline that is spinning. And I also marked it from down here. This is where Jesus was walking around the earth, they say. And this is where Julius Caesar was taken. So from this, you can see where the Dark Ages comes from. And we're moving back up like this. According to this map, we're on the ninth realm, I guess you would say, the ninth century. And if you go all the way back to this is the beginning of time, which is 3990 BC. And they say that Adam and Eve are 10 years old. And that's when they were born, but they were already mature when they were born. And then we come down about a little bit more down when Adam was 21 years old in 3979 BC. That's when Cain and Abel were born, they say. So the timeline is pretty much mapped out from there. And we come down a little bit more, we can find Osiris, Isis, Set. This is where the Egyptian timeline was.
Yeah, go over all this with us, will you?
The Olmec hung around, and this is where the last woolly mammoth was recorded, I guess you would say. And this is when King Tut's burial was performed, or when his reign was going. So we come up, and each of these endings is a significant time in history. Right here is where the Council of Nicaea, right as soon as this age begins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th, and the 7th. The 7th age is when the Council of Nicaea took place. Each of these lines on the outside is a Jubilee. It's 50 years. So you'll go like 50 years all the way around.
What's inside of it?
The inside of it is this pretty much whatever the century is, I guess you would say. I'm not really sure what it is, but I got it marked as the as above and so below. The bottom one is like the weeks, they call it. So it's pretty much the weeks and the days of God. And this is called the Seduk calendar. And that word Sedo is closely related to the Navajo word for hot, but not just like a regular hot, but like a hellish hot. Something like if you would go to Iraq or Phoenix, it would be like Sedo. That would be like this really, really hellishly hot. And that word also would be like someone that were to get drunk or were intoxicated. Sedo. Sedo. It's like he's in hell. So that's the connection between this word Sedo, which is the righteousness, and for us Navajos, it's the opposite. It's like the damnationness, I guess you would say.
Now, when you were showing us that chart, so you showed us the Jubilees. The Jubilees was the outside.
Yes.
And then the next one in you said is the. Can you kind of go over that with us again in more detail? Because that is a really cool chart.
I'm not no Jewish dude, but I'm just observing it. There's nobody that taught me. So whatever I'm talking about might be wrong.
That's okay. I just want to.
That's what I've seen, and that's everything that I tell you is not taught to me. This is everything that I've uncovered on my own on the travels of my life, and I guess you would say.
Yeah, that's super cool, man.
Seeing the similarities between the Book of Enoch and these calendars, we also have these words for us Navajo, which is the fixed star. We call it Doyochida, which means the sun, the stars, and the moon, they don't lie.
I'm just trying to understand that chart a little bit more. So if you show it to us, that image, can you put it in the screen? And then like I can point out a question and then you can tell me how you got it. Cause I just think it's really, really cool, man. And the fact that you put it together on your own accord makes it even cooler, in my opinion. I just want to know that. So I think that's okay. So the very outside of it that shows the years, those are Jubilees?
Yes, that's 50 years.
Okay, so those are 50 years. And then if we go to the next one inside of it that doesn't have any markings, what are those symbolizing? The ones right inside of the numbers. If we go the next layer, the next circle within the outside circle of the Jubilees, what's the next circle represent?
That's a century.
Okay, so the centuries.
That's a millennium.
And then millennium inside of that. So we're looking at how many millenniums in the circle?
10.
So there's 10 millenniums in the circle. Yeah. And then you have in the very central circle, you have 2 halves.
Yeah, the total revelation would be 7,000 years.
So we're looking at a 7,000 year revelation will.
Yeah, and with the Göbekli Tepe, it blows this whoever's in control out of the water, because then they don't like that. because once the Göbekli Tepe is measured up to like 5510, or when this calendar started, it was 3990 BC, but Göbekli Tepe happened in like 9000 to 9500 BC, which is a gap of 5,510 years.
So essentially, the different calendars that we're looking at here, you can link an entire civilization to that calendar if you can control the calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's a form of control.
This calendar, it's all set. Everything is set. It's a pole shift, I guess you would say, because they say that the Earth is tilted. The flat Earth people, I can get all pissed off, and they're going to put in their 3 cents or whatever. But the Earth is tilted, and that tilt is 23.5 degrees. It's tilted at 23.5 degrees. You get that number 23.5 times 2. You get the presidential election that's happening right now, the 47, and you go 47 degrees. That is the wobble, I guess you would say. So cool. That's the wobble. And this is the great year, which is the 26,000 year count. And whatever's going on right now is all related to this that's going, the 47. So these people that are in charge, they're using scriptures, emotions, and just something to reset us and restart us according to their plans, I guess you would say. And for the WEF, they're everywhere. I mean, there was a fair that happened just recently here in the Navajo Nation, and I was listening to the radio on the commercials, and I heard Klaus Schwab's quotes being talked to on the radio in Navajo. I was like, what the f-? So it's prominent. It's rolling. The ball is here.
What was the quote?
Economics, build back better, and the same old blah blah blah. I ain't gonna parrot that. No. Yeah.
We need equality. You need to eat more bugs so I can fly around the world.
Yeah, well, once you hear that economic and the economic development, that's when you know that. Once you hear economic development, grassroots, revolution, 1776, anything that revolves around those words, you know those people are playing. They're the ushers, I guess you would say, the ushers to this grand scheme that's kind of like hurting the masses. And people don't believe this stuff. It's like, whatever, it'll blow over. And that's what I mean by the snake. This snake is just gonna like change his skin, and nobody's just gonna know. It's gonna pass on by, and we'll be into this new age.
When will that happen, though?
After. And I believe that's what the odd in is. Like when people say Odin and all that stuff, I believe there's like odd in, the odd in, and the even in. The odd in would be the 8, and the even in would be the 7. Or the odd in would be the 7 and the 8. And the 7 and the 8 is always just working in these works, I guess you would say.
I noticed that you're really good at seeing patterns with numbers.
Yeah.
And do you see numbers themselves as having some type of energy force per se?
No. I don't.
So why is it so important? Because it's the mechanics of the universe. So you just like, how would you decode the 7 and the 8 and the ways that you've shown me the 7 and the 8? Like, how is that?
Oh, it's just symbolism. The 7 is a scythe. It's like the Grim Reaper, his tool.
Okay.
And then the 8 is the two hourglasses, the two chambers for the sand, I guess you would say, which would be the past and the future.
Okay. On just the hourglass, or on the symbol of the seven also?
The symbol with the seven is just that's the symbol of calling, I guess you would say, the calling and harvesting. So it's used simultaneously, even either it's the 7 and the 8, or else the other way, the 8 and the 7.
Perpetual harvesting?
Mm-hmm.
Harvesting forever?
Yeah, it's something, because all this theology is built on like farming or something. Because the way the Bible is written, they call it bosprodon or whatever. It's like the way the bull plows. Like the bull will go right and it'll go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So that's how the Bible was written, I guess you would say. It was like the way the bull like does the feel.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're seeing like a big shift in the power?
For us Navajos, the end times is a woman president, a woman leader, a woman in charge. And right now in our politics, also our Navajo president is under scrutiny. He's about to be ousted, I guess you would say, and be taken over by his female vice president. So there's also disputes going on with the Navajo politics.
Huh.
And with the current thing that's going on, we're still seeing the eclipse. And with the eclipse, who wins the eclipse?
Who wins?
Because the as above is as below right now. You see it, right? But who wins the eclipse?
Yeah, I see. Okay, so I see the symbolism there.
Yeah.
Although she's more.
It's very simple. It's not. But when you start looking at religion, like not as a fan anymore, when you take out those fan eyes and you just look at what it is with information, that with everything, you start to see the picture of what really is going on, I guess you would say. Because when we look at stuff like UFOs and everything, we watch it like a movie. Like, oh, we want to see something awesome. Like we try to link it to Star Wars or Galaga or whatever to make that craft or whatever do what we want it to do or what we were fed that it was supposed to do. But when we stop looking at stuff like that and we start looking at it the way you do with these shows in the now, and not like yesterday with like, oh, it's a demon, looking at it with like Bible passages and trying to find a Bible passage that zigzag or whatever, or else going to the future, and that's just something that's going to be fundamental to our growth, I guess you would say, according to this timeline that is built.
Now, on your cycles, that 7,000 year map, you've got shows something big at 2026. What does it show at like 2030? What have you got anything going on for that time frame?
The 2026 is the Z. That is the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. That's everything that's going on. All these conspiracy theories that we're jabbing about, the Franklin Scott Key Bridge going down and all that bullshit. I mean, that it's all measured. If you go back and you look at that date, 326, and you go 27 years back, you get the Heaven's Gate people. Mm-hmm. That happened 26 years or 27 years before that Franklin Scott Key Bridge. And you have that 27, the 27 club, and also 27 bones in the human hand.
27, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not rocket science, I guess you would say. These folks are just spinning the same wheel. They're just kicking the same ball over and over. And once you learn the game, the game it gets boring. And with like the Matrix, you get the 1 and the 0. The 1 and the 0 is actually just the yin and the yang. And people just misconstrue that with like whatever is being taught to us by media, I guess you would say, because the yin and the yang is like the solid. The yang is the solid line, and then the yin is the broken line. So you got the one and the zero, the breathe in and the breathe out.
Brahma, isn't that like the breath of Brahma also?
Yeah, and whatever that's going on right now, they call it anachronism. Ana just means like I think it was backwards, and chronism is like time. So backwards time. Anachronism is like backwards time, like the BC time that happened. Something, a big event like the Jesus event that happened. And this Jesus character, to me, he comes out as a human that worked his life, because when you study the Jesus, he was a slave, and he finished his sentence, and he was being paid accordingly, and somewhere they effed him over to where they took it back. And it seems like that time that he was rich in time, and that's what made him above people, is that everyone was tied to a time to work, a time to feed themselves, a time to survive. But the Jesus character, he was either a soldier or something that they call him a tecton, a person that learned everything. He knew astrology, he knew medicine, he knew everything, and he was just a knowledgeable person, I guess you would say.
Very, very. He was like a warrior too.
Yeah, and they say like he began his ministry when he was at the age of like 26, and that's where the number 26 comes into play. The 26 and the letter Z, I guess you would say.
You were showing some stuff about isn't the Catholic Church or the Vatican pushing this new emoji that is,
Oh yeah, that Lucy.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, that character kind of looks like the X-Men. You know, the Jubilee character. The Jubilee character, her special powers was creating plasma. Kind of like she's the Squatterman master. She can create plasma. And on the Vatican, she's holding a stang, and a stang is a witch's, like a witch's staff. And the special thing about a stang is it has two prongs that stick out. One prong is in like shade, and then the other prong is in sunshine. So you get one from the dark and you get one from the light. And with that character with the Vatican, her boots are muddy. So this this whole symbolism is like with the Kabbalah tree, which is the bottom part. They call it Malkuth. Malkuth is the muddy. They call it the bowel area. The Malkuth to the Keter is the top. And right now that their media is kind of holding back on it, but I believe that there's going to be a huge celebration of Christmas this year, and that's the celebration of Keter, the crowning.
What else do you see with the mud on the shoes and the lower part?
What do I see?
Yeah, like what did you call it again? The
Malkuth.
The Malkuth. Yeah. So
Malkuth. Yeah.
Are they telling us? What are they telling us? Like, what's the event linked to that?
She's a psychopomp. You know what a psychopomp is, right? Jesus was a psychopomp. Death is a psychopomp, and I believe Mercury was a psychopomp. A psychopomp is a character that can travel from both hell, right, like plain Earth, and also heaven. So a psychopomp is an entity that can travel through all three realms, the as above, the right now, and the below.
Okay, so that's what you see it represents.
Yeah, and for us Navajos, like the word for Jesus is similar to the word for Jason. The one that doesn't die.
And how would that be linked to Lucy with the representation that they're showing us. Let me see if I can pull that up.
That's the New Age. Yeah, these are Jubilee years. They occur after every seventh Sabbath year. 50 years is the economic, cultural, environmental, and communal reset, when the land and people rest, and all those who are in slavery are set free to return to their communities. So that's what a Jubilee is.
Looking at the symbolism here, we've got green to the left, or green to the right, white to the left with a white central bead. Then we have a blue, white, red, green with an orange cross, muddy shoes. And then it looks like a certain symbol within the eye even. I don't know what kind of symbol that is. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That could be.
Yeah, for us Navajos, that word, sega, denepo, sedananako, is the igniters of the crystals, the yellow world. So maybe she's wearing the yellow because of the yellow world for us Navajos.
It looks like there's a menorah in the eye, a 9-rayed menorah.
Mm-hmm. Like a seashell, also kind of like a,
yeah, or fountain.
You can see the Jesus symbolism on her heart area.
Oh yeah, look at that. There it is. Is that a boat?
The Calvary, I guess that would be called.
Okay, it looked like a boat almost. The cross at the bow.
And she also has like a rosary connected with with the cross. That's the symbol of the Chrislam that's coming up. They call it the merging of Christianity and Islam. This current war that's happening is that. And people talk about Nebuchadnezzar, his dream, how the iron mixes with the clay, and that's happening currently.
Lucy, great name, illuminated one. You got to pay full attention to keep up with Shondell, man. Shondell, thank you so much for your valuable time and information and your friendship. I appreciate you spending your time with us here at Leap Project, and I appreciate you, the listener, spending your time with us here at Leap Project. If it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be nearly as fun. So please hit the bell, hit the thumbs up, share the videos if you would, leave a comment in the comment section. That helps the videos get out there more with the algorithms. The algorithms like that. And I really hope to see you on Patreon. You can listen to this podcast in full, uncensored on Patreon. We talk about stuff that we can talk about over there. We're also on leakproject.com. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope to see you at the free webinar that's coming up here shortly. Be excellent to each other and be the change the world needs to see, because it starts with you. Na, na, na.